some random thoughts. Give Tiger credit. Add Mickelson, too, because he played well yesterday, and I know there's no pressure on him, but Tiger, there's always pressure on him. Give him credit. He did 3-putt 18. He wanted to finish even par. He finished, I think, maybe it was either +1 or +2, right, Tiger? But I give Tiger credit for hanging in there that last day. He has gotten a little softer. He did a good interview at the end there. Well, I'll get to Amanda in a second. Did a good interview at the end with Amanda. He finished at +1. I was impressed with Tiger yesterday, and I was impressed in his interviews. We've done a lot of Tiger the last couple of weeks. The great book that Curtain and Benedict wrote on Tiger. They were in the studio last week. And I do think that Tiger is softened some. I don't think he's ever going to be, lovey-dovey. I don't think he's ever going to be a situation where you can really completely warm up to him. There's a lot of issues. I don't think he's ever going to completely trust the media, but I thought his post-round yesterday was good. I thought he handled himself pretty well all weekend, and he thought he did a nice job of fighting there yesterday and doing a nice job. I probably have changed my opinion a little bit of what to expect out of Tiger. I thought before this tournament began, I did not think he was going to win, but I thought he'd be in the mix on Sunday, so I was kind of half right, half wrong. He wasn't in the mix, but he did make the cut, played pretty, he didn't play that well, but, he did a good job getting through 4 rounds, but he was not, I didn't think he was going to win, so I got that right, but he was not in the mix either. I'm not sure if he's going to win another major. I mean, I thought he was going to when I discussed this a couple days ago before the event began, based on, what I saw over the weekend. There are so many good young players with Spieth and Reed and Dustin Johnson, and, Rahm is good, and Fowler's going to win a couple before it's all said and done. Stenson, Watson, who played well all weekend. Obviously, Ricky Fowler. I mean, maybe not, So that is something I was considering as far as Tiger was concerned. He's going to take a few weeks off. I don't love him at Shinnecock. We'll have to wait and see on that. I think Phil will be a big story at Shinnecock because he almost won there a few years ago. It's a great course. He had a bad putt scenario there on 7, if I'm not mistaken, where he 3-putted. Goosen won that tournament. He has never won a U.S. Open. He's running out of opportunities. Shinnecock and Phil Mickelson will be a huge story when we get there in middle of June. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm not sure what to make of Reed. He's been good to the show. He's been on the Ryder Cup. Came on. I know Eddie tracked him down, or Bill tracked him down today. I wouldn't be shocked if you heard from him in the next 3 hours. He said, I'd see if I can squeeze you guys in the schedule, and he meant it. There's a lot of things you like about Reed. I mean, he's feisty, he's competitive, he's got something to say. He doesn't back down. He's played well in the Ryder Cup. He did a good job yesterday. Again, not easy leading for as long as he did. That's tricky. He did well there. So a lot you like about Reed. Now, a lot of people don't seem to like him. A lot of stories today about the family. Last weekend I read some stories. It sounds like he's very estranged with his own parents and his sister. That troubles me a little bit. He's got 2 little kids. The parents can't see the little kids. That disturbs you. He had issues at Georgia and Augusta State. That disturbs me too. But I can't base him on that. I only can base him as a pro. He's not a guy that I'm going to sit there and root for constantly, but I'm going to admire him. I think he's got some toughness to him. A lot of golfers are soft. He's got some toughness to him. And I think he's going to win some majors. I could see 5 or 6 majors for him before it's all said and done. He's young enough. He's got the game. He does everything right. He's a good Ryder Cup player. I can see 5 or 6. And finally, let me give Amanda, I can't pronounce her last name, Balonis. I'll say it's that. A lot of these sideline reporters, and quote unquote, that's what she is, because she's interviewing the players when the round is over. Rinaldi does it for the ESPN crew and ABC and all that. She does it here. She did a superb job all weekend. Everybody that I saw her interview, whether it be Spieth, Tiger, everybody, she did as good a job, and that's a hard job. And she had to do it 2 or 3 of them in a row yesterday, including Ricky Fowler. Balonis, she did a great job. I'm not that familiar with her, but I wanted to make sure I praised her for that. She did an absolutely superb job. Superb. There's nothing not to say. She did she asked the right questions. She did it in a proper way. She obviously knows her golf. Excellent job by Amanda. So we want to make sure I said that out of the gate. You like CBS's coverage. You love the fact there's no commercials. On top of this throughout, you could tell Faldo was disappointed by McIlroy. because he loved him. You can tell that bothered him right out of the gate. You know, Nance is Nance. You know, he's perfect for this event because the Masters people love him. Does he get sappy? Does he get syrupy? Him and sitting there in Butler cabin with the reels, with the guy there, Ralph, whatever his name is, for the Augusta Press. Oh, it drives you crazy. You know, that's where you lose it with Nance. And I understand he's got to play that role. Don't get me wrong, but that's where you lose it with Jimmy a little bit. You know, sometimes the problem that you have with, and Nance is a great broadcaster, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the issue you have with Nance is you get the idea that Nance at times is broadcasting for the event that he's covering. The Mark Emmetts of the world, the Masters people of the world. Sometimes he's doing it for them as much as he's doing it for the general public. For Goodell with the NFL. You know, you just don't know if something needs to be said negatively about anything in those scenarios. You just wonder if Jimmy can pull the trigger. You just wonder. He's almost too gushy. If you watch the thing with Freddie at 1 o'clock, you know, when the couples won the Masters, I mean, drinking champagne. Oh, my God. And I love Fred. You would have vomited if you sat there and watched that. Vomited. Sometimes Jimmy's sometimes be a little tough to take. Sometimes you want a guy in there who's going to ruffle the feathers a little bit. And I know at the Masters you can't do it. I know it's a different kind of event. I understand that because they kick you off. They kick Whitaker out of there. They kick Gary McCord out of there. And CBS is not going to allow their announcers to get in the way of that relationship. So I understand that. I get it. But still, sometimes you wonder if Jimmy is more beholden to the networks, more beholden to the actual, you know, entity that he's broadcasting, whether it's the National Football League, the NCAA, than he is for the fan base. That's my take. Sometimes. 23 after the hour, we continue.